The DOGE team speaketh. That's right. It is the exposing of the DOGE team intentionally, by the way. Thanks for hanging out. This is in other news. I'm your host, Mike Russell. Appreciate you wrapping up your week with me. This was exciting for me because I am a huge fan of DOGE. I think a lot of you are huge fans of DOGE as well. And we can get into this Tesla nonsense as well. But last night, the DOGE team went on to Fox News. I believe it was, I hope it wasn't Hannity, but they went on to Fox News and it exposed themselves. Like, okay, instead of expose themselves, I think that's like a Jeffrey Toobin vibe from CNN. Not that kind of exposing themselves, but they here we are. This is who we are. So this DOGE team that you think are just, whatever your mind's eye has been telling you that we are, here we are. This is who we are. So let's start with the El Jefe himself.
People's Social Security is what happens. Is they call in, they say they claim to be a retiree, then they convince the Social Security person on the phone to change where the money's flowing. It actually goes to some fraudster. This is happening all day, every day.
So what Elon is saying here is if I'm a fraudster, I got a Social Security number, a date of birth, and an email address, and maybe mommy's maiden name of somebody, I can just call up Social Security Administration and say, yeah, hey, listen, I'm this guy, and I need you. I changed my bank account. I need you guys to just the money that's going in, I need to go into this account. And he said this happens all day, every day, to billions on top of billions on top of billions of dollars.
And then somebody doesn't receive their Social Security. It's because of all the fraud loopholes in the Social Security system.
How do you reassure people that what you all are doing is not going to affect their benefits?
No, in fact, what we're doing will help their benefits.
Yes.
Legitimate people, as a result of the work of DOGE, will receive more Social Security, not less. I want to emphasize that. As a result of the work of DOGE, legitimate recipients of Social Security will receive more money, not less money.
All right.
I want to emphasize that point and let the record show that I said this, and it will be proven out to be true.
Hey, what's really cool about this is that they actually have a use for that for Joe Biden's fake White House that they built in the basement. Remember that thing? There it is. They found a use for it. They're like, okay, we can really use this thing. I mean, hell, I'm sure it's a government contract, so we paid $400 million for it. So I mean, yeah, they could have got the floors at Home Depot and some, But no, it's a government contract. So but at least they get to use the Joe Biden's fake White House. They would just rally him down in the basement with his whatever chamber it was at the time. Continue along with the DOGE team. There's a couple of things that they said last night which were absolutely hilarious to me because it was such a not that they were funny guys. They don't seem very funny guys. That it is so government that it didn't even surprise me. So let's get to this one.
Two improvements that we're trying to make to Social Security are helping people that legitimately get benefits, protect them from fraud that they experience every day on a routine basis, and also make the experience better. And I'll give you one example is at Social Security, one of the first things we learned is that they get phone calls every day of people trying to change direct deposit information.
Yeah, we just got
So
that.
When you want to change your bank account, you can call Social Security. We learned 40% of the phone calls that they get are from fraudsters.
Okay, I'm not gonna paint over that. I'm just holding myself over the Fox News logo because I can't stand them. I can't say any of them, guys. So don't get upset. I'm not CNN, MSNBC, Fox News, Newsmax, all of them. Bye. Anyway, they're the old news media. Anyway, the 40% of calls that come to Social Security, 40%, 4 out of every 10 calls that come to Social Security are fraudsters. That's your money. And when I say that's your money, I mean that's your Social Security, that's your tax dollars, that's everything, the whole program.
40%.
That's right. Almost half.
Yes, and they steal people's Social Security is what happens.
Okay, we got
How do you reassure people
that? We got that part.
The work of DOGE, legitimate recipients of Social Security will receive more money, not less money.
There you go. That's all it is. So all the people out there burning Teslas and but I love it how they call them a Nazi, but then they key swastikas into the side of Teslas. By the way, those that are still vandalizing Teslas and haven't caught on that they're being recorded by the automobile that they're vandalizing, That's Darwinism, dude. Just we should actually double the fines and jail time for each person from here on out. I'll give the last couple of weeks a break, but we do know now that the car is recording you. You are going to get outed. The internet will do what the internet does. You'll lose your job. You're going to be in bad way. And by the way, the people that own Teslas probably voted the same way you did. They're just not idiots that vandalize other people's properties or flip them off when they go by or pound on the windows. These people are absurd. Oh, yeah, I don't care. The legacy media is it's just a bunch of paid actors. All they are. Literally all they are. And look, I love Gutfeld. I really, really do love Gutfeld. I think he is the most talented person in cable news. I think he is. Well, Bill O'Reilly, I think, is the most talented and wisest. But the fact of the matter is, if you went on Bill O'Reilly's show, you had to be the character Bill O'Reilly wanted you to be. And it wasn't fake. It was just like, hey, you guys are going to be on opposite sides of this thing, so you better stay in your lane, right? And Gutfeld's the same way. It's entertainment. It's made to entertain us. So legacy media is just, it's done. It's all a bunch of paid actors. And if I went on as a Fox News contributor, whatever show it was, Hannity, Laura Ingraham, whatever it is, I would be told, Mike, here's what we're talking about. Here's your take. That let me be funny, snarky, but I have to hold that line. The dumb eating the dumb. Oh my gosh, let me tell you about it. Yeah, I'm sure Chris was talking about the Teslas. And let's wrap it up. This is the one from me. The takeaway from the night. Side of 40% of all calls that come into Social Security are fraudsters. Watch this.
A good example of overstaffing would be the IRS has got 1,400 people who are dedicated to provisioning laptops and cell phones. So if you join the IRS, you get a laptop and a cell phone.
There you go. You start day one. Go to HR. You get your paperwork, right? Yeah, you go do your little online training, hopefully narrated by Rob and myself, which was the thing we do. And you go do your online training, and you're going to report to Sally a little later because you got to get your laptop and your cell phone, okay? And then we'll get that all set up for you, right? Okay, sounds like a normal day at the office. Problem is, there's probably 75 statistically Sallys that you would have to report to. No, probably a little less than. Probably about 60 Sallys you had to decide from because there's 1,400 of them that do that same job.
Provisioned. So if each of those IRS officers or employees provisioned 2 employees per day, you could provision the entire IRS in a little more than a month. So 12 times a year, you can re-provision.
Why would you have 1,400 people whose only job it is to get a laptop and a phone?
Right. The whole IRS could be handled once a month. So that doesn't make any sense.
That's right. So when you have 1,400 people provisioning 2 phone and a laptop, 2 items to all of the 85,000 employees of the IRS, you can do that in a month, easy. And that's only if each of them did 2 a day. But again, it was funny to me because it's not surprising. Not surprising one little bit. Not surprised that 1,400 IRS employees do the same job of handing out cell phones and laptops. Absolute absurdity. And by the way, this isn't the most absurd thing you're going to hear today. This is, we'll call it Friday of the absurd. Yes. The only reason, that is the only reason, Derek, that people are upset. That and they buy into it. You know, one thing that I saw Elon Musk send out on X today was something to the point of, I'm not mad at the people that are vandalizing Teslas. I'm mad at the legacy media and the people that are basically making them do this. They're lying through their teeth. So they are so enraged that they go out and do this, and they think it's someone else's fault because they bought a Tesla 6 years ago when Elon was voting Democrat. And now they still have a Tesla, and they're getting their, all this stuff done. Yeah. It's only tax dollars hard at work, Danny, buddy. Heck yeah. Tax dollars hard at work. 1,400 employees, 1,400 employees just to hand out cell phones and laptops to new employees. It's absolutely absurd. Oh, but we needed them at each regional office. No, you didn't. We have FedEx. Oh, but they're government man. I don't care. Yeah, I mean, there's so many government employees. You could probably do like a hands across America thing, and just Daisy, just here you go. Here, just pass this down to Nevada over there. I'm so tired of these people. So tired of these people. But who I'm not tired of. I am not tired of the Democrat Party right now. I am so happy with the Democrat Party. They're actually staging town halls for Tim Walz, and that rhymed intentionally. Town halls for Tim Walz. Tampon Timmy is somebody that the Democrats are dumb enough to think, the Democrat Party is dumb enough to think can win a presidential election, especially against like a J.D. Vance when he had the floor mopped with him in the debate. They're putting on town halls, and they're doubling down on DEI, which lost them the election. Tim Walz helped lose them the election. And the incessant talk about the big lie and voter integrity. Here we go. I'll start with DEI.
Is our diversity? We've been talking about this for years as a country of immigrants, and we let them define the issue on immigration.
By the way, that you are reading that correctly. It says town hall with Tim Walz and Beto O'Rourke. Please, God, if you can hand the Democrat Party these two to run together and then hand Republican control over our country for the next 20 years, we would be appreciative. Could you imagine the Walz O'Rourke ticket? I mean, they're not even, what's after beta? Charlie males? That doesn't sound right. Echo males? Like, keep going down the alphabet. I'm sorry. Sorry, Echo. Thanks, bud. My Alexa, my Amazon device that's his name. So anyway, what are they? These beta males. Can you imagine a tamponathon? I love it. A timponathon.
Define the issue on DEI, and we let them define what woke is.
No.
We got ourselves in this mess because we weren't bold enough to stand up and say, you damn right we're proud of these policies. We're going to put them in, and we're going to execute them.
You did say that, by the way. You did say that, and you did put them in, and you did execute them, and that's what lost you the election. I love it. Just keep this going. This is beautiful.
So,
let's go to the next one. I'm just going to go right to the next one because these are just absolutely fantastic. We're going to double down on DEI. Well, how about this lady? Because remember, we're told, the big election denial. The big lie.
I hope they all have seen the reports from cybersecurity experts that they've released analyses of election data out of Clark County, Nevada.
Oh, have they?
Shows some pretty convincing evidence of election tampering.
So there you go. They're on their way to going with the election was stolen from us. Forget about the fact we had the worst candidate in electoral politics history, and those two people right there. Well, Beto's one of them. But Kamala Harris and Tim Walz. Forget about that. No, that couldn't. We had to have stolen it.
My biggest fear is that we're not going to make it to the midterms.
What? We're having a nuclear war? What are you talking about?
To make sure, A, that the midterms actually happen.
They'll happen.
And B, that they're free of fraud.
Okay, by the way, this is the same as what Elon Musk was talking about today. Hey, this is the same thing. Like, I'm not mad at her. I'm not making fun of her. I mean, it was teed up for me and there were head thoughts, but I'm not making fun of her. She is a product of the crap that she ingests through reading, through cable news, whatever it is. That this is actually going to happen. The president of the United States is going to not have a midterm election. And if they have an election, they're going to steal it. How in the hell is that a question? It is. Let's get to it. Yeah, buddy.
Well,
she got a high five.
Yeah, this one's the core. We saw just recently Donald Trump's executive order to make it more difficult, specifically to women, trying to make it more difficult.
Okay, don't paint over that. I know you're trying to count the people in the paid for crowd. They're paid to be there. These nobody's showing up to see a Beto O'Rourke and Tim Walz whatever campaign something.
This one's the core. We saw just recently Donald Trump's executive order to make it more difficult, specifically to women, trying to make it more difficult for women to be able to vote. We see one of the first things they do is try and restrict the vote. This is one of the things, though, that this is going to take power to the streets. And I don't know.
Yeah, take power to the streets. I got you. I hear you, Derek. I got you. Yeah, those are just two really low audio clips there. Sorry about that. Here's the deal with that. He said, now we're making it harder to vote, especially for women. Another reason why the Democrats lost the last election and got their asses kicked in the last election is because they think that we, the people, think that the government is limiting voting for women. For the love of God. They think we are so stupid, or they are blatantly stupid and incompetent. Period. Unreal. Don't they say no to stealing elections? Yeah, unless they have the issue, and then, oh, it was stolen. Hillary said it was stolen. Hillary's the OG election denier. Well, Al Gore, then Hillary Clinton, and now tampon Timmy Walz. The Soy Boy Express, Rhonda has arrived. Thank the good Lord. But again, keep them as a front. Jasmine Crockett, AOC, Tim Walz, Beto O'Rourke, all of it. Keep them up there. Love this. There will be conservative governance in this nation for the next 20 years if they are the heads of the, or at least faces of the party. Oh my gosh. And this. Keep doing this. I mean, there's just constant examples of Democrat stupidity today. How about this? This is watch this. Illegals deported by Trump should have been should have been enforced. Should have been afforded the right to deny their gang membership. That's it. That's the Democrat stance are, if you're going to deport illegals that have raped and killed people, at least let them denounce their gang membership so they can stay here. Do you promise you're not going to be MS-13 anymore? Yes, I promise. Okay, there you go. Off with you. Keep doing that. Run on that. As a matter of fact, run on that platform. Run on the platform of, we're not going to deport illegal gang-affiliated migrants because they said they wouldn't do it anymore. Tell that to the mothers, the fathers, the brothers, the sisters, the friends of people that were raped and killed by these barbarians. Oh, I love this. I mean, so Democrats say, voter ID. What do you got here? Attempt to keep women and minorities from voting. I know, but now what are they going to do? If they say the election's stolen all the time, they're going to have to say, I want voter ID. And I've said that, Derek, for 10, 12 years now, it's one of the most racist things you could possibly say is, if you demand that someone have an ID to vote, it's going to disproportionately impact black and brown people. That is quite literally one of the racist things, most racist things that the Democrats say. And they say it all the time. Because it is. It means that you are too stupid, too lazy, too poor, just because of your skin color. It's absurd. Yep. That's right. It wasn't me. I'll be banging in the bedroom. Not a bad joke for something. A little tipsy for. Oh, Rhonda had one. All right, good for you, girl. Get it. Were you watching the D-backs? Did they win? Is that why you didn't watch the first show today? Is because I was wearing my Dodger hat? I think that might have been it. But my man Zach McKinstry had a triple. It was pretty rad and a run. I love that. Yeah. So we're good. Around Shaggy. All right. So let's get rid of this. Just go ahead and just if you say you're not going to be MS-13 anymore, it's all good. We'll get to the grown-ups in the room, and then we'll get back to the whiny little Democrats here. All right. Marco Rubio is left because of the leftist BS media, is spending most of his time as Secretary of State defending removing visas from morons like the protesters that are vandalizing buildings and setting up all these invasions of college buildings and all that. Here's what he had to say. This is the grown-up speaking in the room today.
It's an F1 visa, I believe. We revoked it, and here's why. And I'll say it again. I said it everywhere. Let me be abundantly clear, okay? If you go apply for a visa right now, anywhere in the world, let me just send this message out. If you apply for a visa to enter the United States and be a student, and you tell us that the reason why you're coming to the United States is not just because you want to write op-eds, but because you want to participate in movements that are involved in doing things like vandalizing universities, harassing students, taking over buildings, creating a ruckus, we're not going to give you a visa.
Yep.
If you lie to us and get a visa and then enter the United States and with that visa participate in that sort of activity, we're going to take away your visa. And once you've lost your visa, you're no longer legally in the United States, and we have a right, like every country in the world has a right, to remove you from our country. So it's just that simple. I think it's crazy. But
what about their feelings? But Marco, what about their feelings? That's going to hurt their feelings. That's going to impact our standing in the rest of the world. No, it isn't, because their countries have the same policy.
It's stupid for any country in the world to welcome people into their country that are going to go to your universities as visitors. They're visitors.
Yes.
And say, I'm going to your universities to start a riot. I'm going to your universities to take over a library and harass people. I don't care what movement you're involved in. Why would any country in the world allow people to come and disrupt? Now, we gave you a visa to come and study and get a degree, not to become a social activist that tears up our university campuses. And if we've given you a visa and then you decide to do that, we're going to take it away. I encourage every country to do that, by the way, because I think it's crazy to invite students into your country that are coming onto your campus and destabilizing it. Yes. We're just not going to have it. So we'll revoke your visa, and once your visa is revoked, you're illegally in the country and you have to leave. Bye. Every country in the world has a right to decide who comes in as a visitor and who doesn't. If you invite me into your home because you say, I want to come to your house for dinner, and I go to your house and I start putting mud on your couch and spray painting your kitchen, I bet you're going to kick me out.
Good call, buddy.
Do the same thing if you come into the United States as a visitor and create a ruckus for us. We don't want it. We don't.
Boom. Oh, little Marco. How about that? Emotional damage. Oh, that's, I mean, and again, what I love about that is it leaves no. You see, as an American citizen, my rights, my taxpayer dollars, and my country, and my laws don't end where your emotions begin. I'm going to call him Big Marco now. Yeah, well done, Brendan. Yeah. So, welcome to Friday. Again, we're deporting illegal migrants, criminal migrants, gang-affiliated migrants, terrorists, and eliminating people that want to come here to our country on a visa. Say, can I please come to your country? It's my lifelong dream. And then start acting a fool. We're sending you home. And I love his analogy at the end there. I'm a huge fan of analogies. You guys know this. Well, he said, you invite me over for dinner and I come in there and I start spray painting the walls and getting mud on your couch. You're going to ask me to leave. You're going to kick me out. Yep. Same. It's the same here. God. I literally just thought about 1,400 IRS agents to just hand out cell phones. It's just, but they feel bad for hurting the people. That's right. But yeah. They said no. They said they won't protest anymore. They said, pretty please. Just let me stay, please. No. Nope. Not going to stay. Let's get to, let's see here. What else we got here? Oh, my gosh. Oh, let's get to grown-ups in the room. Okay, let's play grown-ups in the room first, and then we'll wrap it up with some weirdness. Okay, let's get to iRobot Caitlin Collins had to take on the VA secretary about Signalgate. He's like, I had nothing to do with it. Why are we talking about that? I'm here to talk about my veterans. iRobot Caitlin Collins wouldn't let go of it. God, she is one of the trippiest acting humans I've ever seen.
A mistake was made here, though, to have this conversation, to add a reporter, and to have it on.
Could you imagine knowing her in college? I mean, seriously, could you imagine knowing her in college? Like you have friends that hang out with her, and you're just like, I don't want to hang out with you guys anymore. She is the most insufferable human on cable news.
An
and her station has a lot of them.
Supported, classified group setting.
Caitlin, as I've just told you, I've just answered the question. I wasn't part of it. And, I'm not going to speculate more than what the president's already talked about and those who've been involved have talked about, but would love to talk about the veterans.
Yeah, and I do have questions about the veterans, but
Sure.
given what we saw with the group chat and how this was used, you are a member of the cabinet. You obviously know these other members, several of them who were in there. Is this typical?
You've been to Washington. They're in Washington. So I'm going to ask you a question that's completely irrelevant to you because you've both been to Washington.
For the cabinet to have conversations over Signal? Is this something that you use?
Well, Caitlin, since you undoubtedly do not want to talk about the VA, I have a question as VA Secretary. As Cabinet, I want to ask you, because I've been curious about this, because my job is to take care of veterans.
Get him,
I would
Colin.
like to know why CNN is hostile to veterans, especially one in Florida, where you just had a $5 million defamation suit taking offense at a veteran who was trying to help people. In fact, one of your employees actually said, we're going to nail him. I have a question for you, Kate.
There is a producer that is, I mean, I'm going to say this too. I mean, just neck deep in her ear. He's got his head in her ear screaming on that little earpiece. You turn this around. You got to get control of this. He's owning you. Holy cow. Oh, I mean, she just watches.
Is that employee still employed? Are you really concerned about
Look
veterans?
at how stone cold she is. Literally a robot. She's a robot.
So if we don't want to talk about veterans now, you want to talk about everything else, I'd like to hear from CNN as the veteran cabinet
She's
secretary.
getting orders right now in her ear. She's getting orders.
CNN seems to have a problem with veterans.
Well, Mr. Secretary, respectfully, my question was about whether or not you as a member of the cabinet use this. And respectfully, I'm conducting the investigation. And I do have a lot of questions for you on Veterans Affairs, but I don't think it would be unwarranted to ask.
Say interview.
What you want to do is talk about the questions I've already answered. And if you want to continue this like this, that's fine. But there are VA employees who are working very hard. There are veterans who get their care from the VA and they get their benefits from the VA. And it does me no good to speculate on something that I've already asked and answered. So I've asked and answered your question. Why don't you answer mine? Is this person still employed who said they were going to nail one of my veterans, who you had to do a $5 million award from a jury because of defamation, and then you settled the case? Answer my question.
Yes.
Respectfully, sir, I'm asking the questions here, and I have no involvement in what you're referencing there. But if you don't want to answer the question about whether or not...
I love this. The grown-ups have taken over, guys. I can't tell you enough. The grown-ups have taken over. Gen X is here, and we don't care about your little... No, I want to talk to you about something that doesn't have anything to do with you. It's over. The legacy media is gone. It's done. It has zero... If that were Joe Rogan, if that were Name the Podcaster, I would even say Ben Shapiro is just a tack dog as he is. Would probably turn it around and go like, okay, you've answered the question. Let's move on. I have some questions about the veterans. Not, I want you to say something bad about Pete Hegseth. You need to say something bad about them. No. And again, I mentioned this earlier because I came out, as Michael pointed out, I came out swinging against the legacy media. You have to. The secretary won't be on CNN anymore. Will definitely not be on iRobot Caitlin Collins' show anymore. Because, okay, sir, Caitlin probably is going to ask you something about this, and you just kind of toe the line. He's like, I don't need you. None of them need you. What's up, Alfred? You went to playing a Jeep. Aaron, that's what I'm talking about. Yeah, see, you got a shout out, Michael. But the grown-ups have taken over. And this is why I walk through this political environment right now, which is ugly as it is, with the utmost confidence. I can confidently say that barring some absolute stupidity, and if people like Pete Hegseth decide to dial down the snark and dial up the professionalism, the Republicans they're not going to lose for decades. For decades. Do you remember the Broadband for All initiative of the Build Back Better? Remember this? Everybody's going to have high-speed broadband internet across the country. Miles labor, shovel-ready jobs. Not one person, unless they have Starlink, has had their internet upgraded or has gained access to broadband high-speed internet since that program started at a cost of $240 billion. We found out why. Is she worse than Chris Cuomo? Yes. She's worse than the entire Cuomo crew. At least you knew the Cuomos were just a bunch of New York jerks and a couple of New York jerks. I mean, she's just I can't even get my head around that. Yeah. When she was just a reporter, she seemed like she had a personality and things were cool. And now I read from the teleprompter. I hear what I am supposed to say. There might have been the reason why she froze up in the middle. There's probably a reporter in the back that just opened up the trap door back here and just put in a new hard drive. So, get in there, get that new little thumb drive and say, yep, there's your information right there, sweetie. The government did keep Starlink out of this program. That's correct. No, I just said unless you went and bought a Starlink receiver. So yeah, thank you for the clarification. Grizz, I have, and I'm not proud of it, but I watched a lot of cable news when I was doing the radio gig at IR. It was on one of the TVs in the studio, so yeah. Not saying I have or I haven't, but I have. Anyway. So they're gonna talk about this. The National Telecommunications and Information Administration, the NTAI, is what was administering that program. Okay, recalculating. Yeah, that's the old Tom and all that. Remember those damn things? Holy crap! Yeah, she had a little pinwheel. She had a little Apple pinwheel going. Doo-doo-doo. Basically the big boondoggle of the Biden administration was that probably more than, I'd say even more so than Ukraine, because nothing got done. Here's why. Jon Stewart interviewed the whistleblower that exposes exactly why no one got any broadband internet. Listen to this. This is wild. A little long, but just stay with me.
That's step one. Step two,
all
56 states.
I think it's step one. Apologies.
We have to issue the notice of funding opportunity within 180 days. That's step one. Step two, which all 56 state applicants completed, is states who want to participate must submit a letter of intent.
Okay.
After they do that, they can submit a request for up to $5 million in planning grants.
Listen to
then
that.
The NTIA, step four, has to review and approve and award, again, planning grants, not broadband grants, no. Planning grants.
And it's still at the NTIA. It's still at the first step.
All right. So the NTIA must issue a NOFO within 180 days. States who want to participate must submit their letter of intent. Step three, they can request up to $5 million in planning grants.
Just planning.
Just planning. Step four, the requests are reviewed, approved, and awarded by the NTIA. Which currently all 56, 3 years later, all 56 applicants had passed through at least step five.
All right.
It took more than 3 years. So it's a long time.
3 years.
States must submit a 5-year.
It's 3 years to get through just the statement and approval process. And not even get through, just to get the money for $5 million, by the way, nothing to sneeze at, for planning. For planning to plan. BS red tape, Truman, I think it's an understatement.
Action plans. The states kind of go back and they kind of think about how they're going to do this. And they don't just say, okay, thank you for the money. We're going to spend it. And you can see how it worked out later. We're like, here's our 5-year action plan. Then the FCC must publish the broadband data maps before NTIA allocates funds. So having done the NOFO, the letters of intent, the request for planning grants, then the review, approval, and awarding of the planning grants, then the 5-year action plans. In between that, the federal government has to put forward a map saying where it thinks we need rural broadband subsidies. And then, of course, the states need an opportunity to challenge the map for accuracy. And you can imagine this doesn't all happen in like a day. Okay, so then the NTIA, step 7, has to use the FCC maps.
We're on step 7, y'all. We're on step 7. $250 billion sitting around because of this.
Make allocation decisions. Then, having already done their letter of intent, their request for planning grants, it's hard even to talk about this, man. Step 7 is NTIA must use the FCC maps that were already challenged for allocation decisions. Then, having submitted all this, I think this one is actually quite amazing.
Yeah.
Having submitted their 5-year plans or letters of intent, step 8 is states must submit an initial proposal.
What?
an initial proposal to the NTIA.
Wait.
Then
is that the result of their $5 million planning fund? This
I
initial
assume,
proposal?
but then what was the 5-year plan?
And what the fuck did they apply for? What was their NOFO?
Like, if the 5-year action plan isn't the initial proposal, then what's the 5-year action
Forget
plan?
NOFO.
Okay.
MOFO.
Step 9, NTIA must review and approve each state's, again, initial proposal. By my read, we have had at least 2 initial proposals here, but that's a different issue.
Yeah, right.
Oh my God.
Step 10, states must publish their own map and allow internal challenges to their own map. So the government has published a map. They have invited the states to challenge the map. Then states have submitted initial proposals, and they then have to publish their own map and allow challenges.
Wait, who's challenging it within the state?
Well, organized interest groups, environmental group, like I don't know who specifically, but literally anybody. This is, right. I want to say something because it's very important I say this. This is the Biden administration's process for its own bill. They wanted this to happen. This is how liberal government works now.
This is something they instituted for this bill.
For their bill. This is a bill passed by Democrats with a regulatory structure written by Democratic administration. Okay.
Right.
Step 11. The NTIA must review and improve the challenge results and the final map. So the NTIA has put forward a map. The states have challenged that map. Then the states have put forward their maps, had other challenges. And now the NTIA must review and approve the challenges to the state maps. Okay. So we've done step 11, NTIA must review and approve challenge results and final map. We've lost 9 of the applicants at that point. Step 12, states must run a competitive sub-granting process.
Oh my fucking God. At step 12, after all this has been done.
Yeah, none of that could have happened along the way here. We have now lost 17 more applicants. So now 30 of 56 have completed step 12. Step 13, states must submit a final proposal. All the proposals weren't enough to NTIA. Now that goes to 3 of 56. So we've gone in the last couple of steps from 56 had gone to this point to 3 of 56. Step 14, the NTIA must review and approve the state's final proposal. And that is 3 of the 56 jurisdictions and states are there. In summary, states are nearly at the finish line. And it says to stop their progress now, or worse, to make them go backwards, would be a stick in the spokes of the most promising broadband deployment plans we have ever seen.
Son of a bitch.
End scene.
I'm speechless, Ezra. Honestly, it's far worse than I could have imagined. But the fact that they...
There you go. There you have it. That's why $250 billion of your dollars has just gone to, well, let's see this. Let's see, what's 50? Hold on a second. Oh, shoot. Hold on a second here. Hold on. What's 5 million times 56? 280 million at least of your tax dollars have gone to this point just to knock out 53 of the 56 applicants. Money laundering. Amen, Rhonda. Amen. I'm glad you're here, Rhonda. I didn't want to wrap up the week with this one. I held on to this for you because you're one of your favorite people in the world. Did you know that? Okay, well, hold on a second. I'm going to get back to this broadband thing. And I think that, to see here, Truman, you brought that up. Yeah. Meanwhile, 8,000 administrative staff people have paid millions. No actual conclusion. That's right. And then somebody did mention Starlink, that Starlink will already be, it's just done. And of course, once he hitched his wagon or endorsed Donald Trump, all Starlink was pulled from this and no broadband for you, no internet for you. That was a trip when we were camping last weekend, was where it was, you hold have you seen this crap? How you hold the phone? I don't know if it's just T-Mobile or whatever it is, but I mean, if you just hold the phone and it tells you, it said the satellite will come in range in a minute, and you see this little satellite come up there and point the phone to the satellite. And then it goes green and you're like, okay, cool. I got that. I can actually talk to people. It's a trip. It's really cool. I like it. I thought it was really cool. Anyway. Got to get scooting out of here. And Rhonda, you missed the pup date. I did not kill Ozzy, which is good. I just fell on him, and he's almost to 100%. So he's going to go back to the vet here in about a couple hours, and so he's good. So like it's like electric charging stations. It's pretty much the same thing. Oh, as far as I can see, electric charging stations. And then I don't know if you guys caught this because I want to bring that up, Ron. If you guys reckon from about probably 2 years ago, right when the Bidens were just all in on is Build Back Better. So it was the broadband for everybody. It was the electric charging stations. It was all that. It was after the vote and they started throwing this money to all of their donors. Sweden, I believe it was, came out with the electric charging roads, like the sections of their freeway that actually charge your electric vehicle as you roll over it. So again, by the time we get 10% of those charging stations implemented, new technology is available, and we're already 2-3 gen behind by the time it's over. Yeah, exactly, Brendan. The charging stations actually developed are now getting torched by the same parties. Absolutely amazing. Harry Sisson, the little blush-wearing piece of garbage, has been dropped by his agency, meaning his popularity and his everything has not been brought by TikTok dances. It's been brought by a well-funded group that funds him, and he gets to benefit from whatever. Gets to do his little, thing, right? There is an agency that has dropped his ass, dropped him, because he has had several young ladies come up and say, this dude basically groomed me, took advantage of me, and it was completely inappropriate with me. I'm going to go ahead and say it because it's Friday. I don't care. Maybe people forget by Monday, or maybe Queen Bee isn't listening. I'm not going to get in trouble. I was surprised it was girls. Is anyone else coming with me on this? I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if a handful of dudes came along and they're like, yeah, he did the same to me. You know who I'm talking about. This little weasel nut. This guy right here.
Openly and honestly.
This guy. You know this guy. And now he wants to talk openly and honestly about what happened. Yeah, he was dropped because he was basically taking advantage. He was a ass grabber. And so, and he was using his, influence to basically take advantage of girls. I absolutely am still shocked. Even now that I put him up on the screen here, I'm actually shocked that he was looking for girls. Yeah. Harry Sissy. Exactly. Am I the only one? Come on. I can't be the only one who was surprised that it was women that were coming forward. Just throwing it out there. It's got that beta vibe to it. Yeah.
I want to talk openly and honestly about this entire controversy that has exploded in the past week. First and foremost, I want to start by saying I fucked up.
By the way, sweetie, you didn't. I'm sorry, honey. No, it's not blown up. It hasn't. You're not that important, you little weasel.
I should have told the people I was talking to that there were other people, and of course, I regret that decision, and I've reflected on it a lot, and I'm learning and going to be better in the future. Now,
Oprah's going to have him on, and he'll cry, and he'll be fine.
What I will say is that this entire situation has been blown wildly out of proportion by MAGA Republicans to further their political agenda. Like, we all know that they don't actually care about this. They just hate me. That's why they care.
Well, we do. Okay, he is right there. Is anyone wrong with that one? He is right there. Yeah? Yeah, we just do hate him. I mean, that's really what it is. Yeah, because he won't go away. He's annoying. Yeah.
I mean, when has MAGA ever cared about women? Also, MAGA has been spreading misinformation about the situation, so I want to set the record straight. I was not in a relationship with anyone. I wasn't exclusive with anyone. I never met anybody in person. I never spoke to anybody on the phone, and it was done among consensual adults. That's it. It was a very casual thing. Additionally, we as Democrats have to get better at recognizing someone who makes a mistake and can learn from that mistake.
Maybe like, letting someone in on Signal when you're talking about war plan. Oh, we're supposed to give everyone a second chance now? Asking for him.
And someone who does actual harm to a community. We cannot, as a party, just attack and demonize people who make mistakes, people who are learning from their actions. If we ever want to hold office ever again and actually win.
You are the party of cancel culture. The party of cancel culture. You ruin people's lives just on allegations of sexual inappropriateness. You ruin people's lives and secures over lives in careers over tweets from 10 years ago. And now you're all about we have to be the party of second chances. Shut
in
up.
An election, our umbrella should be as wide as possible, and we shouldn't be trying to silence people or push people away who are vocal on these issues. And the final thing I'll say about this is that people involved in this situation released my private text messages, private photos of me, intimate details about me that intended to stay private without my knowledge or consent. I didn't consent to any of that. A complete violation of my...
I didn't consent to anyone telling anyone else and showing them proof that I did wrong. God, I love this guy. It's fan. Him, and by the way, David Hogg is he's like the co-chair of the DNC. And this guy, Jasmine Crockett, AOC, Beto O'Rourke, and Tim Walz. This is the Democrat. This is the head of the Democrat High Council at this point. Oh God, it's glorious. It's glorious.
Privacy. And I think that regardless of your political beliefs, you can agree that that's wrong. I certainly wouldn't do that to somebody, and I know you wouldn't either. One thing I'm particularly proud of my generation for doing is moving past this idea that we should idolize politicians beyond their impact. However, I'd like to look at the other side of the coin. When politics becomes a game of pointing out any small mistakes someone makes, we are putting our feelings above what truly matters, how we are all impacted by the actions our leaders take. And I'll conclude with this. I have some bad news for MAGA. I know they thought they could use this situation to try to take me down or silence me, but that was never going to work. I'm still going to be vocal about the things I care about. And
no one else cares. Your agency has dropped you and your financial backing is going bye-bye. So good luck there, cutie. Good luck. Oh, sweetheart. God bless his soul. Again, Harry Sissy, David Hogg, AOC, Jasmine Crockett, Tim Walz, Beto O'Rourke, just put them up there as the Democrat High Council. I want every conservative blogger, streamer, podcaster. Let's just start. That's the DNC High Council right there. Love them. Elevate them to new heights. Yeah. Exactly. So who is he again? Yeah. Harry is a creepy... Yes, he is, Lynn. Good to see you back, Lynn. Hope you're feeling good, buddy. So anyway, yeah, that is it. I'm gonna get the heck up out of here. But yes, Ozzy is doing good, but I am gonna go just love on him before his last vet appointment, and because I did squish him. So I mean, it's on me. I'd bring him some treats, I guess. We'll make it happen. All right, y'all. We'll see you on tomorrow. We're not going to see you tomorrow because I'm doing a weekend thing, and I hope you are too. Have a great weekend. Be safe out there, and we will see you right here on Monday at noon on In Other News. Have a great weekend, everybody. Seriously, get out there and have some